Do you have a vision? Finding your voice as an indie filmmaker is one of the most important things. Here's why. Professional filmmakers who attend film school and learned the traditional way of classic filmmaking can do pretty much anything they want. They can tackle any kind of genre, any kind of format. And I really admire these kind of filmmakers because they have a knowledge of the film language. Basically, they can tell any kind of story through film language. And this is really amazing, this is really admirable, and I really respect that. But I'm not that kind of filmmaker. I'm an indie filmmaker. I never went to film school, I was never accepted. And back in the 90s when I was a teenager and I wanted to make films, there was no YouTube, there were no online tutorials, so I had to learn everything by myself. I had to watch making of features from films. I had to read articles. I was buying biographies from filmmakers that I enjoyed, and mainly I was watching a lot of films. I went to the video store basically every day to rent something, and I became really interested in certain film directors like David Lynch or Cronenberg or Stanley Kubrick, and I felt the impact of their films, but I didn't really understand how they work. What makes these films work? I wanted to learn, but I wasn't accepted to film school, and the only other path for me was to basically learn by myself. I made a lot of short films in the last 20 years. My latest animated short, Cilio, was screened at over 40 festivals around the world and got a lot of awards and acclaims. And I just finished a feature film titled Dreamland Awaits, which is going to get into worldwide distribution this fall on streaming. So slowly I'm becoming the filmmaker that I always dreamt I'm going to be. I think there are two types of filmmakers: the classical filmmakers who learn the craft through the classical ways, like learning in film school and going through the system, and there are the indie filmmakers, the visionary filmmakers you can call them, who never went through the classical way, who are basically outsiders in the film industry, but still are making significant films and milestones in the filmmaking industry. And think of people like Cronenberg, actually, or Michael Haneke, or David Lynch. Deep knowledge of the craft can help you create extraordinary work, but actually the lack of these kind of options and possibilities and the lack of this kind of background will force indie filmmakers to create something special, something unique, something that will stand out, because that's their only way to get noticed. There are thousands and thousands of indie filmmakers in the world, indie film directors who all wants to get noticed, who all wants their movie to be in the cinemas and to be admired by a lot of people. So your only way is to know your strength, lean into them. If you have a strong visual style, if you have like a favorite genre that you're really inspired about, or you have a very unique storytelling way, lean into those things and try to create stories that you can tell through these kind of tools that you have. I think the biggest advantage that we indie filmmakers have over classical filmmakers, they have a million advantages over us, but the biggest advantage that we have over classical filmmakers is freedom. You can do whatever you like. It might not work out, but you still have the freedom to try out, to experiment whatever you want to do. You just get a camera and a few friends and you can make a film. I'm an indie filmmaker and I like to make horror films and science fiction and stuff like that. I could try to make a drama, but I don't really think it would work out. So I have to lean into what I really feel inspired about, because that's the only way I can create something authentic, something real, something that feels unique, that feels me. So my advice to indie filmmakers is basically have a strong vision and lean into it. Try to find out what makes you different from other filmmakers, what makes you stand out. You might not find it the first time. You might need to make several short films or music videos or documentaries or even feature films in order to find your own style and your own path, your own way. Because I think that's the only way to stand out and to have like an authentic artistic identity.